Hello all, welcome to Building a Fortress. This is Giga Patrick. I'm going to join a two-man very shortly. I wanted to um, try out some different sideboard options. I was looking over some of the various deck lists that have come up over the past few months, I saw one deck list that intrigued me that was playing all of these cards here in the board and a prime time and a seismic assault. Now, I made a video with a where I actually got to play prime time. It wasn't that great, and the only reason I got to cast it was because of Urborg Tomb of Yawgmoth. Prime time. Eh. That's been my experience with it in paper and online. But this idea of only having combo, uh, five cards against combo. Um, you know, some lists run up to seven. I've seen lists that run six. I even saw one that ran like nine. It had four Sphere of Resistance, two Thorn or Trinisphere, and three Chalice of the Void, which strikes me as way more than you need. And I was thinking about what in this meta, what types of matchups are we sacrificing if we drop down to five uh, five pieces, like five thorn effects. What are we sacrificing? And I kind of came to the conclusion that the only one we are really sacrificing is Storm. And I haven't seen that much Storm online, so I kind of feel I actually feel comfortable going down to five. Now I am losing out on Trinisphere, which is also good against Miracles, but I kind of want to try out some other stuff in these two spots that would be good against Miracles. You know, other combo matchups like uh, Sneak and Show, Omnitel. Um, you know, you I'm not expecting to see Omnitel a lot just because it's become significantly weaker. And against Sneak and Show, you are not actually. I wouldn't board in all seven Thorn effects anyway. I'd probably, because you need Croson Grip too, and you need to, you probably take out like all mana bonds, some number of punishing fire, and maybe one or two non-useful lands like Tabernacle or maybe Chasm against Sneak and Show. So that's you're taking out six or seven spots, and you're going to add some number of K grip and some number of Thorn effects against Sneak and Show. Maybe you want Choke too. That seems reasonable. So I'm not sure that the full seven is necessary, or even six. So I'm gonna try it out for a while with only running five Thorn effects. Um, uh, and maybe with five you can still get lucky against Storm. I mean, my experience against Storm is you're going to lose pretty much no matter what, unless your opponent makes a mistake. Like I remember in paper playing against or he has to mulligan to a really bad hand. I remember playing against paper against a Storm player. One game won because he had to maul to five. And then games 2 and 3 saw multiple pieces of hate and still lost both of them. They either got abrupt decayed or taken out of my hand with discard. I'm not saying that that's a case. Just see. I guess my point is, it seems to me that the Storm matchup is bad anyway. So, why not try to be more flexible in the board and try out some other things. So, I was looking at some of these past deck lists. I saw an interesting one that ran Hammer of Perforos in the board, this card right here. And it seems like a Seismic Assault variant to me, kind of like but in this instance you trade a land for a 3/3 Hasting Golem, which seems pretty good, but of course it also costs 6 to get online. Then there's Seismic Assault, which I've tried out in paper, never online. And, I don't like the idea of having graveyard-related cards in the sideboard because, they're only going to bring in more hate. So Seismic Assault seems like, well, I'm making my opponent's cards way better if I bring that in. But still, it's an option. Then, of course, there's Primetime, which I've talked about before. And there's some Hammer of Perforos is a fringe option. It's like a... it's like a harder to get online Seismic Assault, probably. The only difference is once it's online, it's less reliant on the graveyard. Like a top deck land for Seismic Assault equals a shock. A top decked land for Hammer of Perforos means you've got a Hasting Hill Giant. Or they printed a 3/3 card, a 3/3 red creature that costs 4 that has haste, but I don't know what it's called. So Hammer of Perforos actually seems to me like it still seems fringe, but it seems like it could be something interesting at the very least. There's also been discussion of Red Elemental Blast, which I'm not going to try out for this video, though I might in the future. What else is... There's also a very fringe card, Xenagos the Reveler, who is essentially 4 mana for a guy who makes 2/2 haste creatures, which in my mind that's better than Hammer of Perforos. The creatures are smaller, but the mana involvement is less intense, and there's possible upside. Likely, the +1 and the -6 are not going to be used at all, really. The -6 is not actually bad. Like, my guess is it averages, somewhere between 3 and 4 land cards that you just get to put on the battlefield with the ultimate. The only issue is the +1 is something that I could see maybe you're fending off death with you've got a couple of Mazes of Ith on the board, or you've got a Glacial Chasm. Well, if you have a Glacial Chasm, then you'll have to have Loam going, and you'll have Exploration, in which case you shouldn't ever need this. But maybe there's a situation where you have 2 or 3 Mazes of Ith, maybe Punishing Fire going, but you can't. You don't have Loam. It's and putting this guy out would allow you to either make creatures or possibly with the Maze of Ith scenario, do his +1 for nothing in hopes of getting to the ultimate. but in general, you're probably just going to make 2/2 creatures, 2/2 haste creatures with him. So, I mean, I feel like obviously he's not the ideal planeswalker that we would want for our sideboard, but you know, he's seems like he could be useful in some scenarios. So between all these cards, I'm actually going to try Xenagos today in 2 in the board. And you know, if we get a matchup where we can bring him in, awesome. If not, I'm going to keep trying him until we can bring him in. Like if I play against Miracles, I'll bring him in. I'll bring in some number of Sphere. The Sphere is way worse than Trinisphere against them. You know, I'd probably bring him in against any mid-range deck. I wouldn't bring him in against a tempo deck, but I feel like mid-range is where it's like this, like the mid-range are these swingy games where sometimes it's decided by the fact that you really need some type of engine going and you can't get it going because your opponent is doing mid-rangey things. I feel like Xenagos would be acceptable in that scenario. Now, granted, I'm just trying him out. Definitely, you know, this is just these are low stakes 2-mans, so I'm just giving it a try. We will, you know, I'm by no means do I think that this is optimal. Like I probably would never bring this to a big type of tournament, but if if Xenagos had a different +1, like if he had a relevant +1, then I definitely like if they printed something similar to him with a relevant +1 to us, I think he could deserve a slot. So we are going to pause it until the 2-man starts. See you then. All right, we're back. Punishing Fire with Grove plus the combo in the form of Dark Depths and Crop Rotation. I think this is a keep. Wish it had some acceleration, but since I won't be loaming, presumably, I can hope to draw into preferably a exploration. Mana Bond would be acceptable. Taxian Probe leading leads me to believe that I'm against Storm or some other combo. Could be something else though. Could be, you know, some Young Pyromancer deck or something like that. I mean, I'd prefer it to be a Young Pyro deck. It'd be funny if I changed my board not expecting Storm, which is strange. Like, it used to be that like all I expected to see was combo. I mean, still not sure what he's on. Could be a lot of things. I guess I'll put out Wooded Foothills. You know, he could be playing some type of yeah. I mean, I'll definitely crack in response to him. I guess the question is, I'll get Taiga since I do have Crop Rotation. You know, if he goes to waste my Taiga, then I Crop Road it and EOT Brainstorm seems more like a combo move since you're typically not supposed to do that. Typically you're supposed to hold on to Brainstorm for something. Ponder. I mean, this, you know, it's hard to know. I haven't seen Miracles run Cataxian Probe, so my guess is we are seeing uh, some combo is my guess. Um, guess I'll just waste Volcanic Island, say pass. That seems reasonable. I have loam, so Underground Sea, Volcanic Island. Deathrite Shaman. Okay, so... Oh, okay. That's intense. Huh. Okay, that was a good draw. Hopefully... I wonder what the best play is. I think I'd probably just Punishing Fire one. He removes it. Punishing Fire the other. He could counter it. Which force? Okay. I mean, that seems alright. To me. I mean, I still have this crop rotation for, like, Dark Depths. Uh, I guess we'll... Huh. Think well, what are the chances that that card in his hand is a daze? Spell Pierce doesn't... If it's Spell Pierce, I'm toast anyway. So I'm gonna hedge that it's not a daze. It is a Spell Pierce, so... That's okay. I guess here we just drop Grove of the Burn Willows. Wasteland. Well, I mean, he's got to hold that Wasteland up. Because he has to know I have the combo in hand. So I might as well, like, he can, like, that kind of puts him in position. If I do this now, then he wants to waste the Grove. So I'm, like, basically my plan now is to combo. So hopefully I can, like, I can bait him into wasting that Grove. Yeah. So now he doesn't... I mean, unless he draws another one, which he very well could. I have a little bit more leeway to combo now. A lot of death rights. Yeah. I think we just play that because playing the... We want to hold crop rotation up. We'll just play the Tranquil Thicket, play Dark Depths next turn. I haven't seen Delver, so I assume this is... Okay, so this is Delver. This is Delver.deck. So I'm going to bet that he doesn't have... So what... Like... What's more likely? Wasteland? He's got presumably 3 Wastelands. This is Bug Delver. He could have Jace. He could have Liliana the Veil. I think the best thing is to try to... Well, of course, he could draw a counterspell. Force does nothing. Daze does nothing. Yeah, okay. So I was thinking about it, and he's just like, I can't do anything. Okay. All right. Yeah, I mean, he knew about the crop rotation. So, how do we board against Bug Delver? Xenagos, like, probably is not for the tempo matchup. Take out a couple mana bonds. Choke K-Grip is usually how I board against the tempo matchup. Sometimes I keep a mana bond in. But, you know, probably I shouldn't keep a mana bond in. But maybe lose the 4th crop rotation for another choke. That seems reasonable. I sometimes board out a crop rotation versus the tempo matchup. But then again, you know, against Deathrite deck, the crop rotations look better. Huh. You know, this is probably how I'll do it. You know, this hand's slow, susceptible to Wasteland. You know, it has a chance to Wasteland them. I mean, this doesn't seem like a great hand to me against tempo deck, where I'm on the draw. I want a mulligan, to be honest, just because it'd be nice to have like Punishing Fire or something like that. But you know, I'm not. This is hard. I'm not sure how important is the acceleration. This is a rough hand to figure out. Maybe this is a favorable matchup, but like it's slow and likely the Wastelock does nothing against Deathrite. So I think I am gonna mulligan. This is tough, but I'm gonna mulligan. Okay. Punishing Fire, Exploration, half the combo. I gotta draw into something, but I'll keep. It's not phenomenal, but I'll keep. Yes. Put on top of library. Absolutely put on top of library. Delver. Probably just... Probably just immediately punishing fire it. I'll see what happens. Maybe he... I'm okay with the daze here, because it doesn't actually affect. Okay. It doesn't actually affect, but I think the land is the land more important than Mox Diamond? Yeah, I guess so. I'll get a forest. Guess we'll go ahead and punishing fire. He probably dazes or something. Ponder. Now I'm definitely gonna go. Hope to draw land. Go exploration. Cool, no death right. That I would assume he forces if he... Yeah. I mean, kind of had to do it in that order, but it does... It certainly leaves me open to force. You know? Now I'm living off the top. Which is not exactly where you want to be, but what can you do? Typically, there are a lot of good draws, though. That an active death right makes the possible draws not quite as sure. I mean, if he has some for this, then you know he has it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He probably conceded too soon, but choke was a good draw right there. So didn't get to see Xenagos in action. Maybe next time. Tempo's not really what it's there for. As I said, it's more for mid-range. I'll try this out for a while until I get to see it in action a couple times. I want to try it out, and then, you know, if I don't like it, maybe I'll try Seismic Assault or Hammer of Perforos or something like that. Anyway, peace out until next time.